Okay, so I've got these columns starting to come together, so I want to get the circulation elements between the levels, mainly my stairs, but also I'm going to look at doing some railings. So because railings are simpler, I'll do a couple of railings just on the level where I know I need some right away. Right, so this. Yep, sure. Yeah, it's recording, but yeah, that's right. So, so with the railing here, I've got the floor already drawn, and that's a really good good thing to have. So if you do have a railing that goes on its own without a stair up to the edge of, or alongside the edge of one of your floors, say a balcony or something like that, have the floor drawn first, and then you have the railing tool on the architecture tab. And so to begin with, I'll just go and use that. Clicking on the down arrow there, you can just go to sketch path. And I've got a line already drawn for my railing. So I can trace that, but you can always work this out as you go. So I'm just going to draw by tracing over these lines. And I'm going to turn chain on so it'll keep going. Right, so I've got a column that comes through here, and so I want the railing to stop there. And so here I'll need to stop the railing at that point. It's going to continue on the other side of the column, but I'll need to do that as a separate railing. So I'm just going to check that this lines up though. I want it to line up with that edge. And so I'll use a line just to check that it is. Yeah, it is in a line. So I'll finish that one. And now I'm going to have a look in my properties and just set it back because it would have been on one of these initially. So when you first go to make a railing in Revit, chances are you'll see it'll give you something like this awful vertical railing. I mean, I can think of some designs where that'd make sense, but not here. So, okay, so I want to change that to a different railing. And if I select it, I can go to Properties and choose any of the railings that are loaded. But there aren't many to begin with, so I've only got these few to choose from, and none of them are going to give me really what I want. So I want to get some from the library, and to do that, again, make sure you use open, not load. So on the main menu, just click where it says open. Don't worry about any of the sub-options, just open. And then using the shortcuts on the left, you can click on the metric library shortcut, and then you should have the sample files folder, and you can go to railings. So I'll just click open, and you can see all these different railings. Okay, so this is the one I want, commercial glass with fixings. And take note of the name. It helps if you can remember the name. So there, I'm going to select the railing I want. And then on the modify panel, in the clipboard section, I'm going to click copy to clipboard. Okay, so now using Control Tab, I can switch back to the file I was in, and then again on the Modify tab, this time I'm just going to click Paste. Don't worry about any messages you get about duplicate types, just click OK there. And then you can click anywhere you like to place the new railing. Now that's just to bring the type across into this project file, so I don't need to keep this physical object. I can just hit the cross right away, delete, but the type is still there in my project. I can select this previous railing, and now in the list, as long as I know the name, which I do, commercial glass with fixing, I can change it to that. There we are. So now I can draw another railing back in the level 1 floor plan. Okay, because I had a gap, I need to start a new railing object. And again, I'll just keep tracing my lines, and notice it's centered on the line that I was drawing. Okay, so it's gone, you can see where the line was before. railing either side of it. Ah, no, that's, sorry, it's not right. Okay, so again, the railing there, yeah, that should finish. I think I have my wall, that's my solid wall for memory going up to there. So, well, I'll have to check that. I think, yeah, I might have changed that. But otherwise, I've got another railing that would go over the bridge here. So I'll finish this one. And again, make sure it's the one that I want. So where I've got this bridge with the railing on the other side, that would have to be a new railing again, and I can just keep making them like that. So each segment needs to be a separate railing, in other words. Here I'm just using my judgment to trace the lines I think make the most sense. And okay, so to do the railing on this side, that would have to be, again, a new railing object. So I'll just show you in 3D. Okay, so they're starting to come together. Right, so stairs are very similar. The way that you work with the stair families and load them is almost the same. To draw them, there's a bit more to it. So I'm going to go to the ground floor that I've got with the drawing, where I've got a nice big stair there. And so I'm going to measure the width of that stair. So you should know that first before you try to make them. So the width, yep, just all the way across there. Well, let's say it's 3 meters, that's close enough. And then, oh yeah, and then also, when you use the stair tool, like I was saying before, try and use stair by sketch. Stair by component will work, but stair by sketch will give you a bit more control. And, okay, so with stair by sketch, also I'm just going to measure the depth of one of the treads. Yep, 275. Okay, so with the run tool, I'm going to set the tread depth here to 275, the width to 3000, and then I'm just going to count off the plan the number of treads that I've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. So I should have 20 risers there. But notice it's giving me 22 over here. Now, if I try and take that down to 20, it's going to give me an error. So it's telling me the desired number of risers is too small. Right, so I'll go to Edit Type. And then looking down at the maximum riser height there, you can see that's on 190, which is the maximum legal height. So based on that, it's giving me a riser height of 181. If I try going to a desired number of 21, then yeah, still telling me desired number is too small. Just going to check the calculation rules and make sure they're not on. Nope, that's okay. Okay, so I've got to have either a reduced height between my levels or a greater number of risers. And that's okay, as long as I'm aware of it. So for now, I'm just going to draw it with 22 risers. Right, so clicking on the arrow there, that's the center of my stair. So I'm just going to click a point. And then, well, it's actually gone to the corner, so I'll just start that again. So it's making sure I'm starting there. And then I'm just going to go 2 risers. So you can see there, it's going along that arrow, and it'll count. So down on the, just below that first point, you can see in grey, it's telling me 2 risers created there on the first tread. And then here it should have, there we are, 3 risers when I get to the second one. So I'm going to click there, and that'll create that first flight. Right, so then I've got a landing, so I'm going to leave a gap, and then I'll click a new point on that, again on the arrow there. And then coming up I can do the remainder of my risers. Okay, so here I'm going to go just to the end of that stair, which should give me 2 less than I need. So that's 20 rises, 2 remaining. And that's okay because I know I want 20. It's giving me 22 at the moment, and that's okay as long as I know, again, what it's worked out for me. So I'm going to finish that. Okay, and it's giving me this warning. Again, I know it's okay. So in the 3D view, we'll look at this, and you can see the stairs there. It's giving us the railings that I'd chosen previously, but again, I can just select those and then either change them to the same railings I've got previously, or, well, this railing I'm not even going to need, so I'm just going to delete that one. And, or actually, we might change it to just a handrail without the balustrade, so I'll bring it back, and later on we can change that to a special kind of handrail. And then here you can see the panel doesn't line up because it's too big, and so I'd need to customize that panel. But again, just for now, I'll change that to the 900mm pipe just to see that it's going up the way I want it to. Right, so the railing I'll worry about afterwards. This, and I'll just set the same for the time being as well. But then the stair, I want to adjust and get that at least to work and be similar to what it needs to be in the end. So looking in the, again, the ground floor plan, now I want to look at this stair in a bit more detail. So I'm going to make a section going right through that part of the building. So either to one side or through the stair. I'll do it to one side. Sorry, I'll start at the top. And then just coming straight down through the middle. Okay, so now with that section view, section 3, I can get a good idea what's happening with my heights and the stair. So my measurements are actually in one of these drawings. Hold on, just open that up. And, yeah, so I'll just insert it into here actually. I've got it here as a CAD file. I know, okay, that's a bit slack on me. I don't. I've got the plans there. No, I'll have to open that separately. But look, it doesn't really matter because I just need to get that level 1 height to come down so that my stairs can get up to that level. So I'm going to bring that down to, let's say, 3600. Okay, so now, just by selecting that stair, I can see that it's working. So it's telling me desired number 20, actual number 20. Okay, so it's one of those things with Revit. If you adjust the heights afterwards, then the stairs, if they can accommodate that, will adjust themselves automatically so that they fit in and give you the riser height. So 180, you can see it's worked out, is the new riser height that I'd need with this change in the level heights. Okay, so then with the level 1 stairs, okay, so I'd have stairs now coming up from this level going up to level 2, and so the 5 stairs here might be a good example. If I have the height set out in advance, then it's going to make my life a lot easier. So looking at the height there from level 1 to level 2, I might not know exactly what I want this to be, but I can at least have an idea that it should be maybe about the same as before, 3600. And then again, level 3, I'll bring that down as well. So notice I'm using the dimension instead of typing in a measurement over here because it's just easier to work it out that way. Okay, so you don't need to have the level heights worked out exactly, but it does help if you've got them close to what they need to be in the end. So then if I go into back into level 1 again, okay, so I'll just make another stair. So again with stair by sketch. I'll just leave it on this one for the time being. So just notice I've been using the 190 max 250 going, which is the default stair. Okay, so here we've got a U-shaped stair, essentially. So again, I'll use measure just to check the width of that. Right, so it's 1250 internal. And then the tread depth is the other measurement you need to know, so that's 250. Okay, so again in properties, you can simply set those things. So you might need to just click on run to make it come up. Okay, so here for the width, 1250, and the depth is already done. And check the levels. So as you can see, that's the standard process you do. When you're making your stairs, usually you'd want to check those things. The heights are done using the levels, so it knows to go from level 1 to level 2. And that's how it then works out based on the risers that it will give you. 19 risers is the minimum here. There I'd end up with a 189.5 riser height. Now looking at this drawing, you can see they should be an even number. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16. Okay, so again, I can take this down. And it's going to give me a warning because that is too high. So instead of this time, I'm going to take it up to 20. Because there's a good chance that when I was doing this 5-stair drawing that the stairs weren't worked out properly. Okay, so I'm going to say with my height now at 3600, I'll need, I know, 20 risers, so I'll just draw that number for now. Alright, so then I'm going to draw a, again with the run tool, over that center line, and then I'm going to come up 10 risers. So there you can see the count, and I'm just, as I move the cursor, keeping an eye on that. So that's 9 risers, 10 is just a little bit above. And now coming over to the left, you can line it up if you want exactly, but I'm just going to come over to the left and line it up with the first, so with the end of this stair. So you can see it's giving me a dashed line to show that. And then coming down, I'm just going to click a point that's below the final point in the run, and then it'll automatically make the landing for me. Right, so I can fine tune the position of that. I might just actually move it down a little bit. So you can see from what I was doing when I selected those that these are all just separate lines. So like most of the things in Revit, you can use tools like Align and all the other editing tools. So with Align, I can choose, say, a wall and then one of those edges to get it to line up if I need to. So that should be good enough for now. And then I'll finish that stair. So in the 3D view, you'll see it's got all the extra things that we probably don't want, like the railing and other things. So there's my stair. But because the railing's a separate object, it's easy to change that just by selecting them to something else. This railing we don't need because it's a 5-stair. And then the inside railing you definitely need though. The stairs, I'm going to change to monolithic, which is a concrete stair basically. So then that's working pretty well. But you might want a different kind of stair. So the first stair I did, it's basically a timber frame stair that you get by default. So I want to make that into a metal stair with open risers. So just like the railing, I'm going to go to open, and then again it's in that sample files folder, but with the new version of Revit, they've got that new kind of stair, the component-based stair. They're different to the sketch-based stairs. They're a different kind of element. And so that means if you use the one in the new sample files folder, the stairs here has the new assembled stairs, which you don't want. So to get stairs, the older kind, you've got to browse. I've put a copy on the P drive for you. So if you browse to P, Student Resources, Interior Design, and then Revit Library. And then there's a sample files folder there, which will look the same, but I'll just open it for you. Stairs here. You get the same selection, but they are different objects. So you will see, I won't go too much into it, but you'll see if you select them and look in properties and you know what you're looking for, you'll see there's a difference. Okay, so these stairs, you can see there's a reasonable selection there. This metal pan one is the closest to what I want. So I'm just going to select that and then again copy to clipboard, Control Tab, and I can go back into my file, again paste, just going to click somewhere to place it, anywhere, delete it straight away, and now I can select my other stair and choose metal pan stair from the list. Right, so it's getting there, but then I want the risers also to be open, so I can simply just select that stair now, edit type, and then I can go into the risers and set the riser type to none. Okay, so now I've got open risers. Have a look at the other settings there. There are lots of things you can do to customize your stairs. So go back to edit type, and so there's a material property for that tread as well. So the tread material, here we are, is the concrete, which I don't really want. I want something a bit smoother. So probably metal as well. I'll just choose one of these for now. Okay, but then have a look at the other options. Stringers, you can do a lot with those as well. So they're a bit on the side. Notice the railing doesn't quite work though with this change I've made to the stair. So you'd have to look at what's happening at the end there. And just so you can see, if I select that railing, back in the plan, I can go to edit path. And then just like any other railing, it'll come up as a line, and I could always just maybe extend that out. Would be a good way of seeing if I can get it to have the railing sloping to the ground. Okay, so I'll look at that in 3D again. Okay, so it's coming out. It's better, but it would need to come out further to go down enough to the ground. So I just have to keep bringing that out. And then, well, that's too far. But I'm sure you get the idea. If I get that the right length, then it will work. It's probably not too bad, but you could definitely get it better than that. So that's an option. And well, maybe I'll just quickly show you with this one. If we've got the handrail railing, so again, just in the railings file. Okay, so a really good one for things like this. Okay, when this happens, it's just because they're in the older version or saved with the older version of Revit. So down there, you'll see it's sometimes a bit slow converting them. There we are. Okay, so that's the one I want. You can see here you've got this railing that doesn't have a balustrade. So it is purely a railing to be mounted to a wall. So just like the others, copy to clipboard, Control Tab, Control V to paste it in. shown. Control V works, but Control C doesn't. Okay, so it's giving me the stair as well. That's okay. So, well, it didn't even bring the stair in eventually, but that's okay. I can delete this railing now. I know it's called handrail pipe wall, so I can select the other railing and simply choose handrail pipe wall. There we go. So again, just like the other one, I can always edit the path, and here, well, I'd probably bring it back. Or in fact, I'd just delete that first part of it because you really don't need that. And I know you would want part of it, so I'll keep it, but I'll just have it shortened. So that line there, I'll just drag it back a little bit so it starts back from the wall. There we are, so that's getting better, but I'd need to again just fine tune that a bit. This railing's a bit of a funny one because it's got some extra things added on that won't be obvious at first. Okay, I didn't like what I did with it. So, bring it back, I'll leave it like that. It's because it has this rounded part at the end that wants to connect to something. But if you play around with it enough, you'll get it to work really well alongside a wall like that. So that's all you need for those kinds of railings. And so those are your main circulation elements. You've got shafts and other things to think about as well, and I suppose ramps. So ramps are the only final thing. I won't show you ramps because once you can do stairs, you should be able to do ramps. They work the same way. So hopefully that'll get you going with stairs and railings and oh yeah, and then lifts would be the other one, which you don't have in circulation there because they're just a component family. Just load them from your library, and the Australian one is one of the best. So when you go load family in the specialty equipment folder, commercial, the lift centre door Oz is a pretty good one. The others are a bit fiddly, but this works pretty well. So it gives you a decent door that'll go into your walls. This one's gone the wrong way around. So back in the plan, that can get flipped. And it gives you a pretty good plan display, which you can adjust the size of. Again, the 3D view is really good. So it gives you all of that stuff that you need on the outside. And again, you can adjust the size of all those elements. Right, so just think about those circulation elements once you get the shell coming together.